Any additions, deletions, motion for approval?
So moved.
Second? Okay. Agenda approved. New business. The committee will hear an update from Joe Coots regarding a litter control analysis.
Looks like recovery court is more efficient than probation.
I would not disagree. I would argue that the people in recovery court have a lot more ambition and much more willing to do the work than what's needed.
I'm just saying it's like 1 bag per hour over there, and the other is about 2/3 of a bag per hour. So
Yeah.
considerable difference.
What's the difference?
No, that is a considerable difference, but still ours, in terms of tons per hour, when you go back and look compared to Fauquier, they're a little more efficient than we are. So, yeah, because, yeah, that one right there, 20 tons for 750 hours, whereas ours were 14 tons for 1,660 hours. So like they're doing double the tons per hour that we are.
I think one thing that could definitely contribute to that is that they are sitting there with the people on the side of the road, just as I had tried to do back in February. I think that could make a very impactful difference, as you can see. So yes, right. I
Yeah.
do not disagree.
On the other hand, it looks like we have the capacity, meaning if you look at hours, we did more than double the hours and picked up the same tonnage in proportion to population that Fauquier did.
Yes, sir. I agree. I would say there is a little caveat down there. 40 of Faukier's 92 people actually came from the Department of Corrections, which 0 of our people did.
Okay. Do you all coordinate relative to which roads need to be done with the sheriff's office, or how do we figure out what roads get done when?
Sure. So currently there was, prior to this morning at about 8:15, there was no communication. The sheriff's office didn't have anybody that I'm aware of. Mr. Joel can advise me if I'm incorrect, that actually participated in the program. An issue that we have in Culpeper is that we're also dealing with people that don't have a driver's license. They don't have public transportation. So when they have community service, we have to provide them a road. If somebody doesn't ride or walk, then they really have no way to get to the road. Yesterday, we had somebody that had to walk 1.5 miles just to get to the road. He has to clean 2.5 miles. The ambition there, to your point earlier, not quite as high. I will say people in the recovery court, back to you advised earlier, they do have a little more skin in the game. They're trying to get through the program, and if sanctions do arise, they're much more immediate, and it's just much quicker response times. So today, I didn't plan for the committee to make any decisions. I'm not asking anybody to do anything. All I wanted to do was provide information and say that I can come back.
Well, one, we want to post the position, don't we? As soon as possible, and at least have the person out there.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh, if that's the will of the committee.
I think it's the will. I mean, we don't have a hiring freeze. It's a position. We need it replaced. We have a lot of people wanting. Yes, Sheriff. Okay, great.
So the 2 days that we did the litter pickup, we did about 5,000 pounds on just the 2 community days. But once we did,
Oh, yeah.
once we got the kind of the community outcry for, for the inmates to do it, which of course we hadn't had that since I've been here 2.5 years, and I don't remember the county having it for many years. But we have about 6 folks inside the jail that's considered outside trustees, that as long as we have at least 1, if not 2 deputies with them, we can take them out. It probably won't be every day, but we can pretty much get a couple, 2 or 3 days a week with those folks out here on the roads, depending on which one, depending on which road we need. And then we're still going to do at least 2 community events a year. So that helped a lot. But again, it's kind of the same he's looking for. We need equipment. One thing I did see in here was the vehicle price. I don't know if you're looking at the state bid line for that, but we're getting trucks right now at $46,000.
And
So
what I was wondering was, this doesn't need to be, I mean, I think it hauls trash and moves people. If
Mhm.
somewhere in the county, 2007 with 200,000 miles needs to be decommissioned likely, in
Sure.
my opinion. I'm no person, but
most of our decommissioned cars that we're putting out right now that we have on the deadline are probably over that 200,000.
Yeah.
I would say we'd give them another one, but we don't have anything that's going to be worthy either.
I'm just wondering if anywhere in the county or anywhere else, we have something that could work. Or I don't know why a litter control vehicle needs to be new, meaning what we need is something that's functional.
Yeah. I know out of our fleet, as many as we go through, we're not really pushing them out the door till 200 plus unless they have a lot of mechanical issues. So I don't think we can help with that part.
Right.
But if you needed to put it under the state bid that we could help with, I don't know how that would work as far as legalities would go, but we could certainly get it at a much cheaper rate than 65.
Sounds like what you're doing would be very helpful relative to the efforts of CJS. Would it do you believe that it'd be, if there were a part-time person, could it help with what you're doing, or should the efforts be independent? Or
It'd probably be easier to be independent, but they can certainly work in conjunction when we're able to get our workforce out. So
Okay.
obviously they're doing painting, they're doing different small repairs on whatever county buildings. And of course, during the summer, they're cutting all the grass for the county buildings too. I think we've cut back to, I don't know if Shane knows off the top of his head, but maybe 2 buildings in the county that we're not cutting the grass on. So we're saving the county considerable money on just grass cutting alone. So summer might be a little different,
Right.
but as the fall and spring, we can certainly jump in and help them quite a bit.
I will add, I reached out to numerous other department heads about vehicles, and nobody had one that they were able to share.
I am not in the vehicle procurement business unless I need one. But currently I'm confident there are ways that, and who would do it? I don't know, but there's got to be a way to find a vehicle better than what we have right now that would allow for the functional picking up of litter. And it sounds like we need one. I don't know that we wait a year and that we keep putting a lot of money in one that maybe is near retirement. But we also probably don't go spend $46,000 for a new one, although 46 is a lot better than 65.
Now, yes, sir, I will advise that the 65 was a not to exceed.
Right.
Definitely going to try to come in much, much lower. And it was also to include back in February, Fauquier has I won't say custom paint job, but they went to somebody and got Fauquier litter control inside. So I was trying to add that into it as well.
Well,
I think we definitely get one much less. Yes, sir.
Joe,
Yeah.
how much?
Go ahead.
Sorry, Joe. How much is the or question for
Thank
Paul as well? How much if you just wanted to lease a car for this fiscal year? Say we wanted to back out the money out of this fiscal year, as was the original intent with the budget, just pay for leasing for 12 months and then revisit in FY28. How much is the?
I don't know if
cost to
Mr.
lease
Howard
it?
has that information. I say that the questions that I asked for leasing were for transporting numerous people. So I didn't get a car quote. A 4-door passenger car I did not get.
so what we need is like a decent size SUV or like an Excursion, a Tahoe, whatever we had before.
Potentially. Yes, sir.
Mr. Pence, when you had presented last time, I think the one that you were anything from your mind.
It was a van. Yes, ma'am. A 15 passenger van. So they can have potentially 15 participants show up on any day and take them out to Route 29 to go clean up the road. Versus right now, essentially, they have no transportation from us to go clean the road.
I'm confident this is solvable.
Yes, sir. I fully agree. And that's why I think my hopes was to just table this in FY27, come back with a full plan for FY28, and come back before the committee then.
Well, by tabling, what does that mean for picking up litter in FY27?
Oh, there's no changes. Nothing's changed. It's still rolling.
Okay, so the
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Excursion's still
Parks-
working. You're going to get the part-time person. We're going
Yes,
to
sir.
keep going.
Yes, sir. Parks and Rec was very gracious, and they lent us a vehicle for the time being. I think my timing is running out, so they need it back. So I was waiting for FY27 to come through. I can fix the vehicle at $1,400. Hopefully that'll limp us to FY28, and we'll have a full hearing come before FY28. So
Sounds like a plan to me.
So any more questions for Mr. Coots?
Thank you very much for the update.
I have a question on the direction. So would you like to move to process a budget transfer to take the money out of the budget since it was left in inadvertently? I don't know if Joe covered that for the 65,000, or just provide informal direction to not use it for FY27.
For now, I think maybe informal direction, and if we get a set of transfers that need to occur, but to just have a budget amendment relative to this, when we get, yeah, so maybe we'll have some cadence over time where when we have a few that need to be done, we do it. But I'm not sure I would go, so yes, don't go buy a new van immediately. I think the plan that was offered is a good plan. And when we have more information regarding several transfers, we look at this in that context.
Understood.
Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. So any more discussion? No action needed? So motion to adjourn? We're adjourned.